Sikhism was very deliberately given a separate identity by the British. This is mainly due to their gratefulness to the Sikhs after the 1857 mutiny, where it was the Sikhs who saved the British. Maybe politically they could have saved it in the sense that if they had sent troops, if they had mobilized troops outside the area of rebellion, like in Bengal, maybe they could have come back and finally conquered the rebels. But at any rate, the Sikhs were very important in saving British lives. You see, they actually concretely, tangibly saved many wives and children of British officers. And so the British were personally very grateful to the Sikhs. And so they decided to reward the Sikhs. One way of doing this was giving them a very large part of army employment. But then you see a more, more thoroughgoing reform was to give them a separate religious identity. And then a number of Sikhs was quite willing to cooperate. They started rewriting some of the Sikh classics, like for instance, when anything good was said about the Hindus around the gurus, that was rendered as Sikh. And when anything negative was said, then suddenly it was Hindu. And like for instance, the whole story of the martyrdom of Tegh Bahadur was reinterpreted as being on behalf of the Kashmiri Pandits. This is not in the original sources. You see, the oldest claimed source is more than 100 years later, and even that is a doctored source, of which the oldest actual manuscript is even 150 years later than that. And there is absolutely nothing that points to this. On the contrary, it is a very unlikely story on the face of it. You see, Tegh Bahadur was made a prisoner. How could the Kashmiri Pandits have approached him to beg for making a sacrifice? You see, would they have been allowed by Aurangzeb to go in and plead for exactly the opposite of what Aurangzeb wanted, namely that Tegh Bahadur would accept Islam? Quite unlikely.